and we hope and pray that we together can work towards a beautiful tomorrow for our women folk. Rape, domestic violence, murder, everything that we do to women that actually scares them in society to want to step out. It's a really dangerous world out there. Have we made it dangerous? Or are we living in a society which makes it dangerous for us? Unfortunately, it's not a really safe place for all our women to step out there today and experience a life which is free to them. With us in the studio today, I have one such woman who experienced this hazardly disastrous act that came upon her to unfortunately go through an emotion which wasn't required. This woman has faced an action in society which I believe as a man should never have been done before, but it has been done. What has she gone through? What is she going through? In the studio with us, we have Miss Loretta Menezes. Ma'am, firstly, we are extremely sorry about what happened to you. I can only imagine the sort of pain you must have gone through, are yet going through. Can you tell us what exactly happened to you?
It was like in 2006 when I was searching for a job. As usual, we see interviews in the papers, and then I called the companies. Then I was called for interviewing at certain times. But at certain times when I was called, the last interview was about 6 o'clock. So I was attending the interviews, and it was already time for the last interview. So when I went for the last interview, as the boss was taking my interview, in between suddenly he got up from his chair and went towards the cabin door, and he locked the door. And I felt something suspicious happening because this never happened before. Then he came and sat in his seat, and he asked me, would you like to be something more than a secretary? I was like, I could not understand what
he asked you this at the interview. Would you like to be something more than a secretary?
Yeah.
At the interview?
Yeah, at the interview.
Okay.
So I was like, I never actually understood what he meant to say that. Then I said, can you please explain? Then when he explained me, I was like shocked. So then I moved out. I just told him, I'm sorry, I'm not come for that job. I'm just come for the job which you have mentioned in the papers. And then I was going towards the door. When I was going towards the door, he came from back and he pushed me he holded me and he pushed me towards the sofa.
Let me just put this together. You're saying that you went for a regular interview for a job.
Yeah.
And someone who was taking your interview, who, as you said, was the boss of the company,
boss of the company,
locked the door
Yeah.
and made it really uncomfortable for you, saying that he would probably have something more than just a job required from you.
Right.
Okay, go on.
Then when I told him that I'm not actually come for that job, and I said sorry, and I just moved out. When I was going towards the door, he holded me from behind and pushed me towards the sofa.
So he actually assaulted you?
Right.
Okay.
I was like in a deep shock, like what is happening suddenly? Then somehow he was getting physically with me, which I could not manage. Then I somehow saved myself. I just pushed him out. And then I opened the door and just ran out in full tears.
So you actually managed to get out of the door. But an incident like this must have caused so much of emotional disturbance to you, to your near and dear ones. How did it affect you and your family post this? What was the post-trauma like?
It affected me mentally because I never expected this happening for any job. Because I have been working many places and I've never faced such a thing. This is the first thing which happened, and it was a shock for me. Like, after this, like, whether should I go for a job or no, like it was always in my psychology. And then my family also faced it because they never expected it. But problem is that they try to take me out of it, and yet like I'm yet in the trauma, I cannot come out of it.
But you're saying that this happened in 2006.
Right.
How long did it take you to even want to get back into a job post this?
At least almost a year or two.
At least 2 years.
Yeah,
and you were going through depression for those 2 years, and the post-trauma of this has actually happened to me for real.
Okay.
Right. I also wanted to ask you, did you ever report this incident to the police or to any of the authorities?
I did not, because first thing is I'm a female, and in ours it was like females should not say certain incidents in open because it affects a career and affects the family also name.
Okay. So we'll go back to that shortly. But tell me something. Do you think it's important that people who are affected by issues like this come up and express themselves, or actually go and report such incidents? Because I believe just being bottled up and taking it within you for so long isn't really good for your health, right?
Right. Actually, they should go and actually first thing do a complaint, and they should talk to someone who can really help them out in such a thing.
Okay. Okay, moving beyond, today's show is all about contact sport. It's about, why, women who are watching the show, or, with the girls of tomorrow should learn some form of engagement, whether it's contact rugby, or whether it's wrestling, or it's boxing, or taekwondo, even martial arts, to help them defend themselves. Do you think it would have helped you if you were a trained self-defense expert to handle the situation better?
Obviously, yes, it would really help me, because being a trained person is much better than being an untrained person. Because I was not trained, so I could not do much. I would really teach the person a lesson even for doing that. But
Okay.
since he was, in today's time, they train girls in such things, is a benefit for the girls to move out in social media, to be bold enough to speak up, and to move out in this public.
Right. Ma'am, I believe you also put your children into contact sport now, and they are learning the art of self-defense through some form of sport. Has this incident actually triggered the need for you to do that for your family?
Yeah, I have trained my children, especially my son is into rugby. So he has become quite bold enough.
And how old is he?
He's 14 years.
Okay.
He had a little bit of stammering, which somehow it has stopped now by playing sports, and now he's become very bold enough. He doesn't need to be told like do this, do that. He knows like how to go move on with life, and he's not to be given like to be a Pakka mama's boy. He's no more that way. He's become very independent and very bold enough to move alone.
So
Also.
you're saying that sport has not just taught you and your family the art of defending yourselves physically, but also given you a lot of emotional and mental confidence.
Correct.
Ma'am, we thank you so much for being with us on this segment. Again, if there's ever any way that we can always be of help to you, we're always around for you. Please note that, the people watching the show care, and you always have us if you ever need us.
Thanks a lot.
Before we leave, we did interview the SP, Ms. Priyanka Kashyap, and we asked her that if a woman ever faces an incident like this, and if they ever feel that they are tortured or going to be tortured or are being tortured, how do they come and report it to the Goa police, and what does the Goa police do to help them? Let's hear what Priyanka had to say.
See, if there is an urgency or a crisis, as you mentioned, if there's anyone stalking you, there's any eve teasing, there's any molestation, there's, God forbidden, if there's any rape, you have a dedicated helpline with Goa Police, that's 1091. Please reach out to us on that. And now, recently, we've also launched a Goa Police app, and we have what's called as Hawkeye app as well. So there is a panic button or a SOS button in that, and if you happen to be in a situation like that, God forbidden, you can just press that button and we can get the coordinates, the GPS coordinates, and we can immediately reach out to you and be of some help.
Welcome back to Off the Field with me, Anish Kwenim. We're slowly but surely conditioning our thoughts to the fact that we need to get tougher for a world that's waiting for us out there. How do we get tougher? Do we get mentally tougher? Do we get physically tougher? I know that all of us are coming fresh out of the movie sets where we've all watched the movie Avengers, and all of us aim to be one. Can we all be one? We can definitely train to be an Avenger. With us in the studio, we have some of the finest contact sport trainers who've joined us to tell us their experience of how they're working day in and day out to get the women and also the men of tomorrow tough to handle the world out there. Yes, their aim is to win their on-field glory, but it also comes with a slight element of helping them to be safe and take care of themselves. Before we come to our coaches who are waiting for us in the studio, we also have Miss Solia Yusuf all the way from Jammu and Kashmir, who's joined us on the sets, and she has told us that she is spending hours and hours every single day trying to help the women of Jammu and Kashmir get tough. Solia, for those of you who don't know who she is an ex-rugby player of the Indian team. She's the current coach of the Jammu and Kashmir rugby team, and she also happens to be an engineer by profession. Solia, we've got a question coming to you. We feel and we mourn what just happened in Jammu and Kashmir with regards little Asifa. Do incidents like this spread fear in the minds of people out there? Does it really affect the women and the girls to step out into a society which in most cases would seem normal, but it actually isn't?
Thank you so much, Anish, for having me on All the Field. Such an honor to be amongst you all. And a big hello to the viewers and the people of Goa. With regards to your question, definitely it was such a horrifying and such a shameful incident. The rape and the brutal murder of 8-year-old, it still shakes my soul. Well, I can say, beat any case, such incident definitely have an after effect on the general public. The humanity should view on such incidents. It just shatters the trust of the people in the humanity. Well, I can say the girls on a daily basis, they struggle with themselves, they struggle with their consciousness, whether they should move out of their houses, whether or not they should go to the college or offices or not. And I can say that parents nowadays have become so overprotective with their children. They don't want to leave their daughters to go alone or to move outside alone. Even we can say with the sports, we can say we have our practice sessions that starts from the early morning hours to the late night hours, and I have seen the parents have become so reluctant. They don't want their daughters to attend the practice sessions and to be in the midst of the strangers. The fear always creeps in the back of their mind, and like we have to keep the practice sessions for the girls in the morning so that they can reach their places as soon as possible.
Always a tear hearing this from you, Solia. We'll come back to you shortly. We have Sir Joseph with us in the studio. So you happen to be one of my first trainers. Let me be very honest and happy to actually say this, that it's been amazing to be trained by you when I was growing up as a child. You've got years and years, almost 4 decades of experience as a martial arts trainer. You're a 6-dan black belt. So tell us something. What exactly goes into your mind when you're trying to train these athletes? You deal with various age groups. The common focus for these athletes, of course, being martial arts. But what do you wish to achieve at your dojo when you're training these girls and these boys? A little bit of focus being on the girl child.
It's been a long journey, yes, I know. And teaching has been my forte, right? But in today's world, where children and others are so focused on their tablets and their mobiles and their computers, they are not on the play field and they are not physically fit. As a result, they are not even getting mentally fit. So my focus with our sport has been, first of all, to get the children physically fit, mentally fit. We give them the field of karate, which teaches them to have confidence. It teaches them that they can hit back, and we teach them how to do so. Yet, all that is combined with being physically tough and also learning to respect each other, as in karate, as we always do. Before a fight, we bow to each other. After a fight, we bow to each other. Even when we are leaving or entering our place of practice, we bow to the place. That shows the respect, and that comes from an old Japanese system, and we still follow that system. So you learn to respect people as they are. You get tough, you get self-confident, and ready to face the world. And that's precisely what we are giving the children as well as the adults today.
Goosebumps, sir. I mean, every time I was with you in the court, and you used to always teach me this, I used to always look at you and say, man, this is what I want to be. I always want to come and become like you. And honestly, it's such an honor to yet hear that you're doing so much for the sport. And thank you for your words, which have always been so inspiring and which continue to be. We're going to come back to you. We also have Nehal with us in the studio. Nehal, you happen to be the ex-captain of the Goa rugby team. You're also a CEO of a rugby club. And now you're a karate instructor training to be a physical education teacher. Tell us, Nehal, you are going to be molding the children of tomorrow. We've all looked up to our PE teachers, and our first learning of sport has always come from our PE teachers. You're going to be reaching out to the girls and the boys of tomorrow. How do you wish to teach this sort of respect to a woman and a boy? For example, you're going to be talking to them about respect to you, respect to their peers, respect to each other, respect to the people at home. It could be their mum or their sister. How do you wish to bridge this gap?
The respect to me as a teacher. So in the beginning, I'll make sure the misconception which they have in their mind about the PE teachers, which is a PE teacher teach only mass PT drills. So I'll clear their doubts that PE teacher teach mass PT drill plus the physical fitness, the skill related sports, the speed, the endurance, and also the sports which are there in their curriculum. So I'll sort out all the things, and then only I'll make sure that everything is clear. When it comes to respect to the woman, that is the mother. So I believe we never thank our mother, and no one thanks our mother usually. So when we ask for a pencil from a classmate, once they gave us, we say thank you. But our parents, like our mom, wakes in the morning, cooks our breakfast, our lunch, our dinner, iron our clothes, wash our clothes, everything she does. But we never thank them. So these are the small things that through value education we can teach our boys and even girls so to thank our mother. When it comes to the woman, I believe that no boy respect a woman until and unless they respect their sisters. So we can have a small survey wherein we can tell a boy child to go home and ask their sisters what are the problems they face in this society, so that the girl will be more easy way to tell the brother, so what are the problems she face. So once a brother knows like these are the problems which girl face, so they won't ever do such things which girl will hurt. So this way we can teach the respect towards a woman or a girl child.
So you're basically changing the thought process of
Yeah, and
tomorrow
mentally
and
too.
getting the boys at a very young age to learn respect for a woman,
Yeah.
and that doesn't just relate to their classmates but also to people at home.
Yeah.
Neil, I want to go back to school and I wish you were my PE teacher. We're moving on to another fine coach who's with us in the studio today, Master Rahim. You happen to come all the way from England. You're a taekwondo master. You're also a master in kickboxing. You've trained like Sir Joseph for almost 4 decades in the field, all the way from England to Goa. Why?
Well, I needed a change of life, and I was on my way to Dubai. The Gulf War broke out. Somebody suggested to me to go have a look at Goa. Goa is the happening place right now. I came to Goa, spent my 2 weeks like all foreign nationals do, went back to England, and then decided, you know what, I must move to Goa, and packed up and then moved to Goa, and here I am today talking to you.
Did you feel at any point of time the reason to come back to Goa, of course, beyond all the incredible things that our state has to offer, and I see the grin on your face, did you feel the need to come back to Goa was to get our women tough and our boys tough as well, to learn some form of self-defense?
Yeah, I realised there was a gap in the market for the martial arts that I was practicing, taekwondo and kickboxing.
Yeah.
Going back to the point you're talking about girls, funny enough, the very first 4 students that I had were girls into kickboxing. Most of the guys wouldn't come, but the girls turned up. And I was amazed that these girls came and trained, and the mental attitude of the girls was fantastic. You know, I really enjoy the way they questioned. They wouldn't just go in and just bang, bang, bang like the boys would do. They were very much into the technical side of the martial arts, how it operates, you know, how this works, how this do. So yeah, I was really impressed by all that.
Neil, I'm going to add to this question. I believe the girls at the Goa rugby team are doing much better than the boys. I mean, it's a secret which I wouldn't like to say normally, but here I'm saying it and open to people. Why is this happening? Why are the girls doing better than the boys in a sport like contact? Whoever would thought that girls would be a #1 in Goa and rugby?
Because usually people say that the girls are weaker than the boys. So we thought like, why not we change it now only. So these are the simple things, like tackling is not so easy, we say, like, so we combined, like we all girls came together, we thought like, let's prove them the girls are even stronger. So because of the small things, and all thanks to our coaches, and especially Anish.
Okay.
It's all because of
I
him.
honestly don't know whom she's talking about. So moving back to you, do you agree on this thought that, you know, it's been easier to coach women?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think I'm talking from experience. In my classes right now, I would say that I have 60% girls and 40% boys.
Wow.
And the girls are really doing well. I'll take a case of Sybil Fernandez, who I took along with me to the World Championships at Tokyo, and she won 2 silvers, both in forms as well as in fighting.
Right.
And the girls in our class have been doing excellently. I think that the girl child certainly needs this, not only for self-defense, to become self-confident, to get out into the streets, and to become better citizens. Our country needs them.
Right, thanks. We have Solia with us yet in the studio, all the way from Jammu and Kashmir. Solia, I had a question which I wanted to ask you. In a place like J&K, it's the values are orthodox. It's a little difficult for us to go out and get women to come out and learn a contact sport. You've yet beaten all the odds, and you today, what you've done in Jammu and Kashmir has featured all over the world with regards to rugby and the women in Jammu and Kashmir. Do you think in some way this relates to what's happening in the society around you, and has it inspired you to help them improve their confidence level, and has the levels actually risen?
Kashmir is no different than any other conservative society, so it's difficult to do the things that are out of the box. Playing rugby was a challenge for me, but Alhamdulillah, having such a supportive family and the friends by my side, I was able to tackle the odds with ease. Regarding the conditions that are prevailing nowadays, I think playing a physical sport like rugby itself toughens the body and the mind, and I think such girls can handle any adverse conditions. At least they can fight for themselves. That's what we basically teach in rugby. The break point is in your mind, not in your body, and you have not reached the break point yet. I think the mentally and physically tough girl can stand for herself. She can make her own decisions. She can stand for other girls too. Pertaining to the confidence level, definitely a girl who is physically well trained aims to be more confident than the girl who have never been to the sports or have never been any sort of training. I really want to request the parents to provide such platform to their daughters, be it sports or any such platform that can make them mentally and physically strong, as it's a need of an hour and a high time.
We're back in the studio. It was amazing to hear what Solia had to say. We also interviewed Priyanka, as you must have heard her earlier on the segment, SP, ACB, and we asked Priyanka Kashyap a question. Does Goa Police conduct similar training programs for women in self-defense? And here's what she had to say.
Yes, amazingly, for the past 3 years or so, Goa Police has been conducting regular MMA, that is the mixed martial arts sessions in various schools and colleges, and we are still open to it. We have a dedicated trained team who can come to the schools or colleges or whichever education institute who wants to get associated to us, or any other institute, where we are willing to go ahead, train more and more number of women and girls, which we already have been doing, so that you are more confident, you can deal with any kind of situation at your own end.
Incredible. Incredible to know what the Goa Police themselves are doing for the women of Goa through self-defense. Remember, that's how you can enroll and be a part of it. Nehal, we're coming back to you in the studio here. As ex-captain of the Goa rugby team, what confidence did it give you playing at that level to share with our viewers?
Confidence was simple as it's practice, practice and practice. So in the beginning, like getting into sports of contact was not so easy for me after an injury of another contact sport. So my parent will ask me one question, are you ready for the contact? I said yes. So they are the actual support after me, like they said, okay, go for it. So then I started hitting gym, practice every day on the field, like coming back to different sessions. I'll say no one is perfect in this world, and do not copy anyone. Get inspired from everyone. So after that, my coaches also said, do this, do that. So I started training a lot, and after that we went for the national team. We won, we didn't win the gold at least. So we got selected on the cup and we came back home.
Okay. Moving back to Priyanka, who happens to yet be with us. Priyanka, are women watching you right now? Do you believe that you've led by example, there's nothing more I can say for where you've reached. Priyanka, do you think our women should learn contact sport?
Oh, absolutely. I don't want to be sounding negative at the outset, but yes, we as women, if we are trained in contact sport, for instance, I as an IPS officer, we had a training in Krav Maga. We are Krav Maga trained, so it definitely boosts my confidence, and I'm way more confident to deal with any situation, given the possibility that you might come across somebody who might not be that nice to you. So yes, it's a tool. It's a very handy tool.
So Joseph, quick round off. Self-defense a must?
Absolutely. Mentally, physically, and you got to be confident to walk our streets, which in Goa are still safe, but you need to look at eventuality.
Right. A round up eventually, coming back to you, Master Rahim. Tell us, a taekwondo arena where you coach, does it help our ladies to get mentally and physically fit? There are boys out there. There are boys whom you train as well. They're watching what you do. Does it also affect their mental processes?
Yes, it does, because with the girls, like in the gym, we don't have boys and girl students, we have students. So we allow the girls to fight equally with the boys. So the boys learn that respect for the girl, because the girl is fighting, training with them on an equal basis. But I just want to go back just a little bit, something that, firstly, I want to congratulate you personally for the hard work that you've done. I've seen you from the beginning of this rugby thing, what you started, to where you are today. And I think without someone like you, who everybody's told that it couldn't be done, it can't be done, why are you doing, and you've made it.
I really
you've done
appreciate
it.
that. I mean,
You've
as I
done it.
said, you know, I've always been inspired by y'all, and you know, I continue to be inspired by y'all. So it means a lot coming from you. Thank you for the compliment. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back to you. But before we head into the break, we're going to tell you what's coming up. There's 3 incredible women who've been trained by these 3 coaches who are with us. You need to see what they're all about. We'll be back shortly.